We're loaded.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming here to Southbury in the 5th District of Connecticut. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you Peter Schiff, candidate for U.S. Senate, and he'll give a few words of discussion with you today. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, everybody. So I'm here on this very hot July day to officially endorse Mark Greenberg in his quest to become a congressman from the 5th District.
All right.
Yeah! You know, I first met Mark when the two of us were talking to the Republican RTCs, who unfortunately didn't have the wisdom to nominate either one of us at their convention. But while I listened to Mark, you know, waiting for my turn, I would often, you know, hey, this guy is saying exactly what I'm saying. He was almost a carbon copy of me. He really understands the economy, the issues. He's a self-made entrepreneur like me, who has no prior political experience, but he has, I think, 3 young kids. And he's worried about four. And he's worried about their future, just like I'm worried about the future for my 7-year-old and his cousins and my nieces and nephews and all their classmates. And I want them to grow up in a free country. I don't want them to have to emigrate. I don't want you know, to have to visit my children or their children in another country because they had to flee America because it's no longer the land of the free and the opportunity. So like me, Mark has decided to put aside his career to devote significant personal resources to you know, going to Washington for his country, going there for the right reasons, to undo all of the damage that career politicians have done over the years, to restore liberty and freedom and bring respect to the Constitution back to the United States. And so again, I give you my full support, Mark, and hope at least one of us makes it, hopefully both of us.
Thank you very much, Peter. I am truly happy about this endorsement. It touches me in my heart. Because you're talking about the RTCs that we met. It was actually in Harwinton. And after I had spoken, Peter said to me, I agree with everything that you're saying except one thing. This is not for our children. My children are 8, 5, 3, and 11 months. That's way too long for us to wait before this economic disaster, which is occurring right now in the country. That's why we have to have Peter in the Senate. Peter's going to be in the Senate for maybe no longer than 6 years. He keeps on saying 1 term is enough. But he has to be down there to deliver his message of less government, less spending, less regulation. We need less of all those things, which will bring about more jobs. We need more principled people in Washington. We need more morals in Washington. We need people with a greater moral compass. That's the kind of person that Peter is. That's the kind of person that I endorse. We need a person like him who has a tremendous economic background, who foresaw all the catastrophes in the housing market and otherwise, way before other people mentioned it. He was on air. He was mentioning it. He wrote a book about it. He's our best prescription for less of everything.
Yeah! Mark, you know, along those lines, you know, Joe Biden just the other day, you know, said that with respect to health care, he says he knows what Republicans are against. He doesn't know what we're for. That's because he doesn't understand what we're for. We're for free markets. We're for liberty. We're for capitalism.
Yeah.
Right.
See, the people in Washington don't understand that there are solutions in the market. They think that the only solutions that works are the ones that governments concoct, you know, behind closed doors in their little think tanks. But we know that what really works is entrepreneurial capitalism, is free markets, is laissez-faire. We want to get the government out of all this because those are the only solutions that work. Mark knows that. I know that. We just have to make sure that Washington knows that.
All right.
Yeah. We are outsiders to this process. We have created jobs. We know what the market will do. We know that government can't do it. We're the only ones in this race who really can bring that message to Washington. It's a message of less is better than more. Less is better than more. Less of these regulations, less government interference, less stimulus package, which stimulates one thing and one thing alone, the deficit. We need less of a deficit. We need a smaller debt ceiling. And we will bring that. We will bring our no vote. No, we're not raising the debt ceiling. No, we're not voting these things, because this will then bring the entrepreneurial spirit back to Main Street. The private sector has to create jobs, not the government. Not the government.
Government destroys jobs. You know, getting back to the stimulus too, people still don't understand that the stimulus caused the housing bubble. Not Obama's stimulus, but Bush's and Greenspan's stimulus. That's why we got into trouble. You know, you've got so many people in Washington who don't understand the relationships between drinking alcohol and a hangover. You know, when you drink alcohol and you get drunk and you feel great and you do stupid things, it's not until you sober up that you realize, oh my God, what did I do? How could I have been so stupid? The problem is the government doesn't get the connection. They like the way it feels when they're drunk, and so they want more alcohol. But we're not going to sober up if we keep drinking. We got to go to Washington and bring that message to our elected officials so we can get off the sauce and we can finally have real economic recovery in the private sector.
All right.
Yeah! No blooming way.
Finally, I would like to bring to the podium another great American in the 4th District, whom I am giving my support to and my endorsement to right now. Peter has already done so, but I'd like to bring to the podium Rick Torras, whom I wholeheartedly endorse for the 4th District.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here standing next to two guys that understand freedom. The basic, what I want to do more of, and I understand all of the less that we want to do with government, but what I want to do more of is increase freedom for Americans. We've lost too much of it, and what's taken it away from us is big government growth. And it's important today to decide that Americans, we the people, want our power back. The power that was given to us by our founders has been taken from us by our government, and we must take that back right now. So it is my absolute pleasure to endorse both Peter and Mark in this very critical election, and also to re-emphasize to everyone out there that all three of us have been endorsed by the Independence Caucus. And the Independence Caucus is the second largest vetting institution in the state of Connecticut, second to the Republican Party. The Republican Party chose its candidates based on friendships, based on things other than who will find freedom for Americans. The Independence Caucus is dedicated to the proposition that we the people deserve the freedom and that government must shrink. The three of us stand wholeheartedly in favor of shrinking government and increasing freedom for all Americans. So again, it's my absolute pleasure to endorse these two guys. It's my pleasure to help them in any way I can, and God willing, we'll be together in Congress come November.
All right.
We must go. Stop hides.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
All right, into the shade.